I missed these guys. They were in LA. They went to the beach, stayed in Southern California. They were away. Something was missing. This is Adam and Lou. I just found out they are indeed officially boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yep.
See, yeah, isn't it awesome? And they're turning into be some good friends. We still have to get together off duty one of these days. I know you guys got a busy executive schedule and going to LA and all this stuff. And Adam, I think Adam looks cool with his haircut. Without a hat, you guys look good. How's it feel to be back at work?
It was quick.
It was quick.
How long were you guys gone?
4 days.
4 days. And you guys flew out there, $99 round trip?
Yeah. We flew on the 4th of July. Early morning.
What was the biggest takeaway you had from going out there? Just getting away, or
just getting away.
Getting the beach, seeing the Pacific Ocean?
Yeah, seeing the Pacific Ocean, yeah.
Was that the first time, or?
No, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
How long has it been for you?
It was like 4 years.
4 years, okay.
Not even a year.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm making these videos really quick, talking about Georgetown winter and snowboarding compared to like summer, like here. Talk about that life.
It's incomparable, I think. Like,
that's your passion, right?
Yeah.
That's what you live for, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of like a side thing, just kind of thing to kind of get through the summer, right?
Yeah. You got to make money.
Yeah, you got to make money.
I'll be here this winter, though.
Are you going to be here this winter?
Yeah, just less, a little less.
But Georgetown isn't that far away.
No, not at all.
Isn't like going to California.
No.
And look at this face. You know, she has the most. Adam, you got to back me on this. I've watched the videos of her a few times. I'm putting you on this one right now. She has the funniest facial expressions.
She has the most amazing.
I can't hide how I feel.
And she's a natural actress. No, seriously. I've tried to film people because I get tired of making my videos and just talking behind the camera myself. You two are the first people in 800 videos and being in Sanitas, Japan, here, that have voluntarily gone behind the camera.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
So it's destiny.
You think out of 800 videos.
Yeah, you guys are the first. And do you know what Sanitas, you know what I said? I'll patch this in. I was in the Sanitas library saying, I just got to find some people that like to know how to make videos because I'm tired of just making them myself and not teaching. I'm looking for somebody, and I was out in California too, and here you guys were right here at St. Mark's Coffee Shop.
And here we'll be forever.
Yeah, so stay tuned, folks. They're going to be on other videos I'm putting in. They're going to watch this one. I'm making one especially for them. It's an hour long or so. I told them they can watch them in 5-second increments.
5 seconds.
If you watch 5-second increments, you can watch an hour-long video. It might take you 2 months to watch it, or you can watch.
I'll be back to you in 2022.
Or you can watch it in 1 minute increments and take 60 days to watch it. Yeah, it's completely up to you, right? Anyway, I know you're on the clock, so I'll let you go. Okay, this is Adam, and they're back from California. They're going to be on this new video. Thank you. from the 7th floor, and this is the view of the city, and this is where I backed in and parked. Now let me tell you reason why I do this when I sit in my car. And this is my 2017 Prius Touring. I just contacted Arizona and got the title. I paid this car off a long time ago, and I just put off getting the title. Why? Well, I didn't foresee that I would either get it appraised and sell it back to CarMax or sell it, so I wasn't in a big hurry to get the title. But I wanted the title now, just in case. It's probably worth $17,000 or $18,000. It's a beautiful car. So just in case I need to get some money together really quick, this is worth $17,000 or $18,000. I can have it appraised. Okay, this is Doug, of course. Many of you could be possibly my Lyft riders who have become new subscribers and potentially are more interested in watching my videos than someone that just a family member, a friend. And I've even told you in the car, because you sat in the back seat. This is what I've said to you. So if you're here, you've heard this before. And as I dropped you off, after you typed in driving to Tokyo Space Channel, I maybe said it a couple times, I probably have to put something behind my headrest here that has driving to Tokyo so you can read it and put it in, and maybe cards. But many of you typed in driving to Tokyo Space Channel, subscribe to my channel as you were leaving or on the way to the airport. And I told you the truth. Now that you've heard my story and met me, you haven't just seen a photograph or a video of this car, you were in my car. And you are a rider, and I don't have to really tell you about what it means to be a rider, a Lyft rider. And also you've had experience with other Lyft drivers, right? So I've also many times have asked you the question, and the answer has been pretty much the same every time. And the question has been, and I'm not saying this to brag or boast or anything, but here's the bottom line. I've said, how many 70-year-old guys that you've met that look like me? I kid around with some of the people. I say, do you ever know that band ZZ Top, the guys with the long beard? Well, I'm one of them. I just decided to do Lyft and have a side hustle because I'm collecting royalties and I don't do concerts anymore. And I just felt like I wanted to be around regular dudes. So you probably don't recognize me, especially if I put my sunglasses on. I kind of disguise myself so you don't know I'm one of the ZZ Top dudes. Anyway, I kid with them. But here's the deal. Back to my question I asked in the elevator. Am I happy? This is something to really dive into. Now, I could say on a scale of 0 to 100%, 100% being ecstatic, happy, as Dean Graziosi and Matthew McConaughey would say, I'm in the green light. See, I just stepped out. I'm recording this on my iPhone. This is my Mercantile Square loft secure entrance. It's a beautiful day here. Now, you may not know this about Denver, but it's April 3rd, the third day of April. This is now my favorite time of the year. Why? Well, it can still snow, but it's supposed to be in the 70s Fahrenheit. Now, this particular corner where I'm walking right now, I'll get back to LC in a minute. This is where I live. I live in a neighborhood called Lodo, or the historical district. Now, I can come out here at especially the weekend, 5 in the morning, and you won't see anything. Now, that's Union Station. My car is parked right 1 block away. This is where my friend Gentry plays. Picture of this is off of LC's Facebook page, and she said, I can't stay home. And LC's was Mike and I's driving to Tokyo's first Zoom call. She's a female truck driver that I met at the night transportation terminal in Phoenix, and then later found out after I was talking to her, she actually lived in Japan when her husband was in I think the Air Force stationed in Japan, and all her kids were born in Japan. This is LC. This was actually taken out in the Phoenix yard, but when we met up, just coincidentally, at the North Las Vegas terminal. Night transportation, we had terminals in Salt Lake City, Sparks, Reno, Portland, El Paso, Dallas, Hutchins, which was Dallas, Katy, which was Houston. We had terminals all over, but we happened to meet up at the Las Vegas terminal, which is fairly close. It's about a 7-hour drive from Phoenix. So this is just a photograph we took since we kind of crossed paths. And she had a load going to Colorado. Frankly, I can't remember where I was going. I think I was on a 10-hour layover, and I was visiting my friend Scott Warner, who lived in Las Vegas. He'd often come over to the terminal and we'd hang out. This is LC just standing by our truck when we hooked up in North Las Vegas. It's on the channel. Weekly recap with Doug and Mike with LC. Here we go. I'm just going to give you a little taste of it right now.
Super casual.
Yeah.
Just realistic.
Yeah. I don't mind if she just wants to listen in and contribute and listen to us talk. I don't care. It's kind of cool because she's kind of like we could be interviewing her, and then she can kind of be part of the live audience.
Right.
I'm just if she wants to. She's on her home time, so she's visiting her sisters, I guess.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was talking to her the other day. She seemed pretty open to just the idea of talking about trucking and her story, and just she seems like she likes this kind of stuff too. So it could just be like a doorway for her to get her own channel going, or maybe to find her own specific thing that she might want to do. So, or maybe just connect.
Yeah, well, I thought it might be, depending on how she feels and how she wants to go, she could just come on here and be a part of the channel on a casual basis for a while and see how it goes, and she can share these things with her family or with other drivers, and then she can kind of play it by ear.
Nice. Yeah. I think it's a great thing that we're doing with this. And it's all part of the channel process. If you're watching this recording, we're just hanging out. Got Doug and Mike here for our weekly recap, and we're also going to be chatting with another truck driver coming on soon. So we're just kind of recapping, hanging out. Doug, where are you? You're in California right now, or?
Yeah, I'm on a highway 505, which I'll kind of picture this. I was talking about geography with my friends in Japan. They don't know the geography, so I'm giving them a little geography. I just came down on Interstate 5, and there's a highway 505 that's a shortcut to the Bay Area, so you don't have to go into Sacramento. And the 505 catches the 80 that goes into San Francisco Bay Area. So I'm right before you get to the 80. Almost to REI Starbucks on the Platte River. This is an 11-minute walk from my loft downtown. And that's where I'm going to go set up and have my Zoom call right there. It'll be better. I'm so happy. Everything's cool. I don't want to change a thing. I'm not at that level. And plus, let me be real with you. I'm now 70. My dad just passed away March 17th to be exact, about 17 days ago, and he was 90. We are very close. For the last 15 years of his life. When I left this city, Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City, and I may, if you're one of my Lyft riders, I may have told you this because I tried to tell you as much as I could about my own life of driving to Tokyo, story, how it happened, what it is, why I call it driving to Tokyo, and also I've asked you about yourself, probably. We had some back and forth. I'll give you a specific example rather than just generalities. This just happened 2 mornings ago. I was literally backed up into my parking space, ready to go home. Now, Lisa, if I remember correctly, I believe she was at work, so I would have my apartment to myself, which is part of our arrangement. And I forgot that I was still online. So, true story, what happened is I was about ready to take a break, and it was an airport trip. So I just took it. Airport trips are usually the best. So I didn't know. Now, here's the deal. when I go online and I make myself available, I never know who I'm picking up, where I'm going until I get it. And then once I get the ride, the riders have their app, I have my driver app. And what happens is the ride will come up, it showed it was an airport ride, how close it is. And I took it. It was only about downtown, real close to where I live. So I went and picked up the rider, not knowing who they were. As soon as I pulled up and saw him, he was a pilot, specifically for United. Now, why am I bringing that up? Well, I tell my riders often, including pilots, instead of saying I was a truck driver or retired truck driver, I tell them I was a retired land pilot. And I told him, and we had a real awesome conversation about all his experiences flying. And I told him some of the comparisons with driving a truck and a pilot. For example, I believe the pilots have to do a pre-trip like we do with trucks. And I told them I can pick up a load often, let's say in Coeur. Beer and Golden and go all the way to Seattle. Granted, it's a lot slower than an airplane, but I have 44,000 pounds of beer, 200 gallons of fuel, and the combined weight of the truck and trailer and everything is around 78,000 pounds. And when you look in the front of the truck, it looks like an airplane. So I'd say it's like being a pilot, except I'm not going 600 or 700 miles an hour. But I'm still going from Denver to Seattle, and I might go from Seattle to Salt Lake to LA to Kansas City, and I've driven 1 million miles. Now, driving 1 million miles is a lot. Well, you can fly 1 million miles faster than driving 1 million miles, but nevertheless, so we got in this really cool back and forth conversation. Guess what happened too? He said he'd been to Japan on layovers, and he did fly a big regular airline from wherever he's flying. I don't know, direct flights from Denver to Asia, and he would have a layover and he traveled around Japan. So we had a really nice conversation. I don't know if he subscribed to my channel. I gave it to him. But my point is, out of 2,200 rides, 2,200. Now, granted, I've been driving about almost 2 years with Lyft, and when I drove a taxi and limo, I drove 10 years. But still, I picked up thousands of people. And here's where I'm going with this. It's been over 14 years since I drove a taxi and town car. And I told them I used to pick up freight, but the freight didn't talk back. And I'm just kind of happy that I'm out of solitary confinement. And I told them that, driving solo is a little bit like solitary confinement because I pick up loads. I'm by myself 100% of the time. I drive about 500 or 600 miles a day, go to a truck stop. Now, the pilots, my understanding, they'll go to a city and they'll get a van or something, go to a motel or hotel room and have a layover in a hotel room. I would have a layover in my truck sleeper, similar type of thing. I'd go from the front of my cab, put my curtains up, and go in the back and sleep in my truck. I didn't go to a hotel. So, but the same kind of concept, we have to take our required rest period, just like the pilots have rules and regulations. So believe it or not, this is my thing. I need to get outside my parking garage. Now, here's the deal. 7:30, I can go to work anytime. But that doesn't mean I really have to watch. I'm gonna up my game. Now see, I'm looking. Let me show you what I'm seeing over here. Check this out. It's a beautiful Denver almost springtime day. This is the time of year. It's April 3rd, Wednesday. I'm walking from Starbucks, you can see behind me, on the Platte River. My loft in where I live in lower downtown is a leisurely 11-minute walk when there's no snow or ice. This is the time of year that's my favorite time of year in Denver. For those of you that don't know my Denver history, which is some of my Lyft riders are one by one becoming subscribers to my channel, and so it seems as though my Lyft riders one by one are my audience. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be talking about things that are going on like right now, and be as authentic and honest and real as I can all the way around about a variety of things. But also, part of what I have been doing is doing flashbacks. And I'm talking about where I am today, how I got here, and a little bit about my personal history, specifically related to driving, because my channel is driving to Tokyo. So I definitely want to talk about what is driving to Tokyo. Now, many of my Lyft riders that I've had a chance to talk to, depending on the length of time we have, some cases we got all the way to the airport, which is about a 30-minute drive. Some cases, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But one by one, I've had a chance to connect with real people. And one of the things I talk about as I'm working my Lyft business is the fact that a little bit about my driving history, that I drove a taxi and a limo, my own car, back and forth to the airport when it first opened 27 years ago. And I was only 42 years old. And when I was 45, while I was still driving a taxi, I got my first Gateway desktop computer here in Denver, part of my Denver history. So I moved here in August of 1990 at age 37 after living in San Diego, California from age 7 to 37. I'm bringing this up because oftentimes one of the common questions I get as my riders get into my Lyft car is, where are you from? And usually when they ask that question, often, they're natives that have lived in Colorado their whole life and wonder if I'm a native. So they ask, where am I from? So the second thing I tell them is, that's a big question, because first of all, I'm 70 years old and I have a lot of different chapters in my life. But I can give you, like if I'm going out to the airport, often I'll give them kind of the 5-minute version of my story. And that is, I was born in Minnesota, and I'm bringing this up because I've lived in a variety of places which have all been much different from each other. For example, where I was born, northern Minnesota, is a lot like Finland. And my great-grandfather came from Finland because northern Minnesota gets really cold in the winter. For example, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, has lots of lakes, birch trees, and looks very similar to Finland. See the clouds in my background? So that's why my great-grandfather came over from Finland. Now, going back and talking about my parents, the reason why I'm talking about them is without them, I wouldn't be here. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where I'm walking and where I'm going tonight.